Oh yeah. Next up, taking a peek at the steering wheel as well as the cluster screen inside of the Wrangler. I gotta say, first thing, wheel itself is really nice. I like all the little stitching highlights. Follows all the way through the wheel, it's good. Nice kind of chrome highlights that follow out through the middle of the steering wheel itself. Now the steering wheel inside of the Wrangler is going to be manual telescoping, so just by your left knee, move it in, out, up and down as necessary. Lock it back into place. Might have the option for a heated steering wheel, just depending on which model of the vehicle that you're in. So you've got your heated steering wheel button there, along the screen, and then down through the center stack buttons there as well. It's nice. It's good. Nice cheap logo right along the middle there. Stick on the left side is going to be to flash your high beams out. Along the right side is to get your rear or your front windshield wipers going. So you've got a few different options there. You're going to pull in towards you for your front wiper fluid. You're going to push away for the rear. So very straightforward. I like this though. This is really good. And one thing I like about Jeep vehicles is that just in behind the steering wheel itself, along the left side, you've got a few different options. So if we go into media, you could jump between different presets. There's a little button that you can push, or you can also move up and down if you wanted to go between different stations as well. Along the right-hand side, you can either raise or lower your volume on top of that, or you can jump between different sources by pushing the button in the middle back there too. Very straightforward. Now, this for the control for the adaptive cruise control system. So it's very straightforward to use. All you do is turn it on first. Once you get up to speed, you're going to push up or down in order to do either increase or decrease 1 kilometer or 1 mile per hour at a time, and then set your speed. You can cancel it out if you want to, or you can hit the brake to cancel. If you come to a complete stop, you can start driving, hit resume, and then it's going to bring you right back up to your set speed again. With it on, you've also got your adaptive cruise control system. So the adaptive cruise is your set it and forget it cruise. So let's say if you set it at 100 kilometers an hour on the highway, if this is turned on and the car in front of you slows down, yours is automatically going to brake. If they change lanes, pick up speed, whatever the case may be, it's going to pick you right back up to your set speed again. And then this is a distance indicator. So you can see up along the top there. So it's essentially like how close or how far are you away from the vehicle that's in front of you. So it's kind of neat that that's available there as an option. You can kind of see as you go, it's going to disappear. Obviously, if you don't have the adaptive cruise setting turned on. Along the right-hand side, these buttons are going to be either answer or hang up on a phone call. And then you've got a voice command prompt. So you'd be able to do things like change songs, radio stations, you can adjust your climate settings, and so many other things. I honestly recommend getting used to the voice command prompt because there are so many amazing things you can do with it. And then this is going to be to control the cluster screen. So I'm just going to zoom in a teeny little bit here. Boom, there we go. So, as you can see there, off to the left-hand side, you've got the tachometer, what's going on with your 2 high, 4 high, neutral, 4 low, etc. So you do have to technically be in neutral if you wanted to be able to shift these things out. So like moving between 2 high, 4 high, etc. Very straightforward. You've got what's currently going on with your engine temperature, your fuel level, your speedometer off to the right-hand side, what's going on with your navigation, outside temperature, and then a few other basics. So like what gear you're in, and then your current kilometers on top of that. Very straightforward. Then, I mean, obviously, no, there's nothing wrong. Actually, what happens if we open the door? There we go. So you can see there, you've got your door icon that shows up. So series of different icons that are available right along the tachometer along the left-hand side there. And then we can move up and down between different screens. So some of the screens, there are different sub-screens that you can get to. So we can see sub-screens that are available there as well. So if we start off with, let's go speedometer, you can push OK if you want to go digital speed 4 miles or kilometers per hour there. Really neat. Moving down, you've got some basic vehicle information. So you've got what's going on with your tire pressure, coolant, transmission temperature, gauges, and things like that. One really cool thing is that through the Uconnect screen, you've also got the flexibility of looking at all of your gauges in a slightly different view instead. Moving down, what's going on with your off-road status. So you can see there as you rotate the wheel, 8 degrees. Really cool because you can see what's going on with your pitch and roll and things like that as well. Moving down into your driver assistance settings. So whether or not that one's turned on, yay, nay. Actually, what happens? Turn it off? Okay, it just disappears. Okay, that makes sense. And then, yeah, you can see that it's turned off there. And then what's going on with your fuel? Oh, that's kind of neat. Fuel economy, and then you can push. Oh, you have to hold OK in order to reset. So you're going to hold OK, and that's to reset it for us there. Based off of how much gas we have, what's our current range as of right now? So we can get 47 additional kilometers. And then you've got, like I said, what's going on with your total distance along the bottom. Dropping down your trip info, so you've got your A/B counter. And that was the same thing with fuel economy. You've got 2 different counters there. And then your trip counter, trip A, trip B. And same idea, you just push and hold OK in order to reset. Your start-stop, so as of right now, start-stop's not going to work. That's essentially going to be what happens with the start-stop button that's in the center stack. So it's not always going to start for us, or stop for us, I should say. So you can see there it's toggled off, but the vehicle essentially determines if it's okay to turn the engine off or not. And that's if we come to a complete stop and you're stopped for an extended period of time. What's going on with your current audio? And then you've also got messages, screen setup. So if you hit OK, you've got the flexibility of customizing what's going on with the screen slightly. So you can adjust the upper left side, you can adjust the upper right side, you can go to your defaults, what gear you're currently in, so whether or not that one shows up, yay or nay, your odometer, whether or not that shows up, your menus, so what menus do you want to have showing up inside of this screen? So many options. Your gear display, ooh, that's kind of cool. Single versus full. I'd probably go full if I had the 6-speed manual transmission, but ultimately your call. Nice. And then center. So you've got the flexibility of adjusting a few small things. So if you would like to customize things like a teeny little bit, you do have that available as an option. But one thing that I really like, I'm just going to search for an address that we've gone to recently. And the big reason why is because we do have the flexibility of seeing a map right through the screen.
Turn right, then, at the end of the road, turn left.
So right through the cluster screen now, you can also see what's going on with your directions. So you can see there, it's essentially turn-by-turn directions right through the screen, rather than having to look through the multimedia screen instead. So
you will arrive at your destination at 5:05 p.m.
Oh, why, thank you. So it is really cool that you've got that available as an option. Now, there are a few different cluster screens that are available inside of the Wrangler on top of that. So 2 individual ones. Which one you get is going to depend on which model of the vehicle that you're in. So a few options, but I mean, honestly, they're not too different from one another. It's just that in the smaller screen, you just wouldn't have the turn-by-turn direction. So something to consider there. And I know that's quite a little bit of information, but that's everything you need to know about the steering wheel as well as the cluster screen inside of the Jeep Wrangler.